Welcome back to my channel, Gemini. Much love and thanks out to my existing subscribers and all those that are new to my channel. Welcome. I always appreciate your time and your support. So, quick reminder, these are general readings. It can't possibly speak to everybody. You're all at different stages of your life. You've got your own unique situations. So, you're not all sharing the same life story at the same time. Everybody has some lag time in the way that they make their decisions. So, please allow for flexibility on the time frames. So, overall, though, this is a reading, general reading for Gemini, March 1st through to March 14th, 2021, career, money, and finance. I will be using the Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor, as well as the Quantum Oracle, if there's time at the very end here, also by Sandra Ann Taylor in the Rider-Waite deck. So first card out for you, Gemini, is the Happy Family card. So I feel that we're dealing with your home front, or your stability seems to be the focus for the first 2 weeks of March. Overall, there was a lot of angel cards coming through this month for you in both the Rider-Waite deck, which I do clarify the oracle cards with, but I also further clarify that more specific week to week with the career, money, finance aspect further out. So I have pulled a lot of cards on this one just because a lot of the cards seemed a little confusing at first, but spending enough time with it, I was able to pick up something a little more specific. But so anyway, I do pre-pull the cards just simply because it just allows me some time to sit with it and really get a sense of what's coming through for you. So again, what I'm picking up here is that you are strongly protected in the month of March. I suspect it'll be probably going more so even into the latter portions of March. But this is basically just covering the first 2 weeks. But you are definitely strongly protected in the first 2 weeks of March. So again, there's so much angel protection that was coming through that it was a little off-putting because it started to make me think that there was a lot of things that were maybe possibly going out of balance for you. Or that it looked as though you were on the precipice of something here with other oracle cards coming out, such as the Garden and the Gate. But as it turns out, there are a couple of events here that do come through with some challenge. But overall, this is really a month of some very deep, insightful wisdom, as well as some really creative opportunities for you. So again, starting out with that Happy Family card, we are dealing with things along the lines of your home front, your stability, which makes sense since most of us are still kind of dealing with some restrictions due to the pandemic and all of that. But either way, with the Happy Family card, it is further clarified with the Three of Cups. So again, with the 3, this is also speaking to more along the lines of creativity, but it's also a card signifying that there's some kind of happy event or reason to be celebrating, or that you feel like celebrating. So again, this card signifies some kind of celebration coming up. It could be a birthday or a wedding or an anniversary or what have you. It's however it relates for you. But it was, as I said, Happy Family clarified by the 3 of Cups, so it looks like it's taking place on the home front. So but there's some kind of happy event that I feel that you will be celebrating in the very near future here in regards to, the oracle cards are a little more general, so they do speak to more along the lines of the first 2 weeks. So I can't be more specific than that. But it is further clarified by the Knight of Cups. So following the 3 of Cups and the Happy Family card, I feel that the Knight of Cups is really just sending you this warm message that there's some kind of practical accomplishment that's growing. So whatever you're investing yourself in emotionally is providing a really strong sense of security for you, and you might even be taking a moment to slow down and just wait for more inspiration or more direction. And I feel that way because it's followed up with the 7 of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. So with both of these cards, as I say, to me, this really speaks to some kind of a pause, or you just slowing down. I feel that there's a lot of downloads that are coming through for you, so much inspiration, so much divine wisdom and connection here for you in that first 2 weeks. So and there was some elements of healing as well, but overall it just feels like every time you get some kind of a spiritual download or you get some sense of wisdom or answer, you need to slow it down, absorb it, process it, and that's why I feel the 7 of Pentacles. So again, still growing something, but I feel that you are having to take moments to pause, just to receive that necessary information to inspire you along your journey. And then you have the chance to implement your ideas in a more grounded, practical way, because you're able to, utilize it and let it, percolate in the mind to a degree. So you're not just getting out there and charging ahead with an idea. You're actually looking for the connections in the information that you're receiving. So it does feel like a lot of the changes that are coming through for you in that first 2 weeks are more along the lines of on the idea front and inspiration. So more of a mental, cerebral sense there, because you are, there wasn't a lot of, there is certainly a lot of cards that deal with, you had a fair amount of cards that, kind of dealt with a little bit of everything, but it just didn't feel like it was strong wands coming through where there's a lot of action taking place. I feel the ones that were coming through were really around cards that spoke to quick messages coming in, and certainly inspiration, like I said, things along that line anyway, things that were dealing with more of a mental approach. So again, not a lot of wands coming through. It feels like you're just taking in a lot at this time. And again, I suspect the latter 2 weeks of March will be where things pick up or take off with your inspiration from these pauses and this processing of deeper wisdom and insight. So again, with going back to that Ace of Pentacles, this could speak to an opportunity for those of you that are looking for work. Certainly something in that 2 weeks could be, presented as an option that you might be interested in taking. But again, whether or not you take it or not, that's entirely up to you. It does look with the celebration card that there's something on the home front that does give you reason to celebrate. So it could be that there is some kind of unexpected, even a little bit of unexpected money that's coming through, or some kind of promotion or upgrade, or just something that is a bit of a surprise here that shows up as some kind of opportunity to move ahead. But extra work, anything along that line, more hours in a job or something that's being provided here for you that helps you to earn a little bit more money. It's some kind of a win in a sense, but it's a hard-earned win because it is related around the pentacles. So it's not something that's luck-oriented. It feels like you've put in the work for this. Okay, so following up here, and I should just quickly mention also, as I said, with that, for those of you that have been looking for work, again, there's some kind of financial opportunity that's growing there as well, as I mentioned. But also with that Seven of Pentacles, there was also the planting of your ideas, the planting of those seeds, which to me is the planting of several ideas in creating, a project that you're starting to, develop. It feels like you're gaining further momentum this month, especially with so much spiritual guidance. It really feels like some great ideas are revitalizing your creativity this month. So if you've been feeling a little bit stagnant, all of that's going to change here in the first 2 weeks of March. So again, for those seeking employment, the Ace of Pentacles was an offer that was arriving somewhere in the first 2-week period where you can really settle and feel secure. For those that are self-employed or moving in that direction, an opportunity to profit or get a good return on something is very likely. But it did speak to more small gains to me, or it feels along that line. But it looks as though it's close. So whether you receive it in the month of March still remains to be seen, but it looks like the opportunity at least is being presented here for those gains. So for others, it represents, again, some enterprise going through a period of growth and development. So following up with that, we have the Oracle card of the second chakra, Archangel Ariel, and that's about energy that you're putting out creatively. And again, lots and lots of that. So and there was quite a few swords here as well, and you getting clarity. So I feel that you're really strongly expressing yourself here in some way in that first 2 weeks. So whether that's using the written word, or you're just on more outgoing media calls, or dealing with more phone calls, or dealing with something more verbally, or as I say, creatively expressing yourself on some front as well. Could be musically or painting or whatever that is for you, but somehow your voice is being heard or translated into something. So again, for others, you're getting into some kind of new project or deepening your commitment to an existing project, and putting more effort forward here in the first 2 weeks, at least in terms of thinking about its expansion. I also feel that you may be projecting a level of openness, or you're more receptive to others. I just feel that you're choosing to be more communicative and social in the first weeks here of March. But this is further clarified, the Archangel Ariel, with judgment. So judgment can speak to new beginnings. It can speak to, the soul's calling and all of that as well. But as a clarifier, I just feel that there's a level of concreteness that you're starting with around your thoughts and your actions. It's a real strong idea that's coming through. And I just feel that you have a real certainty about where you're headed with this idea in that first 2 weeks. So we also have the Five of Pentacles. I do feel that there is a bit of a caution here, that whatever gains or momentum that you're leveraging in this 2-week period may be compromised in some way. So it could speak to something very small because it's a minor arcana card. It's not really, surrounded by anything too significant here. But to me, it could speak to data being lost, something, not saved, or a computer glitch eliminating your work, or distractions, something that's pulling at your attention, that makes you feel as though you've got a level of anxiety to contend with that Seven of Cups. So, it can speak to too many options or choices, and that can lead to some level of confusion as well, where your ideas may not start to make sense or find a direction possibly in that period. Again, with that Five of Pentacles, it kind of feels like there could be some confusion, again, that you may not have a direction for all these ideas coming in right away, and that could pull you into more of a non-reality or illusion-based sort of sense of what the idea is. So maybe a little too whimsical or fantastical, not really grounded enough to make sense of it. But it can also be some kind of overindulgence that pulls you away from that groundedness, that you really need to bring forth these great insights, because wisdom, is grounded. It's a grounded type of energy. And so you really need to remain grounded with the information that's coming in from spirit. You don't want to move off in too much of a whimsical, as I said, fantastical direction this month, because it doesn't help you to really expand the idea. So for others, it can feel like there's a great deal of emotion in the first 2 weeks as well. And maybe because of that over emotion, as satisfying as the Ace of Cups can generally be, bringing in, an emotional sense of fulfillment and so on, it is followed by the Tower card. So to me, that can represent that there is some kind of challenging moment here as well, as I said, in the first 2 weeks. It's further clarified with the Nine of Wands. So I feel like there is definitely some possibly heated debate of sorts, because it's further followed by the Ten of Swords. So again, I would just watch that whatever is challenging you with the Tower and the Nine of Wands, and the sharp words of the Ten of Swords doesn't drag you down. But of course, the tens represent a harsh issue being dealt with. And certainly it's, the 9 is moving to conclusion. The 10 is pretty much dealing with whatever abrasiveness. And again, it looks like communicated abrasiveness between parties here that was the challenging issue, because it's also followed up with the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups can speak to somebody, a person for sure, somebody who have a sort of a romantic, generous kind of a nature, somebody who's just very emotionally in control of themselves on the average. But I feel for others, this is really speaking to you to just take a mature approach with more understanding, and since we're dealing with your foundation. But again, if it is representing a person here, we would be looking at Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces could be relevant, and certainly it does speak to, a generous person and somebody who's kind, generally who's, nurturing and just very intuitive as well. And this could also speak to you just relying on your intuition. And I feel really for the most part, it is you relying on your intuition, using a mature approach, more understanding, more compassion to deal with whatever is on your home front that seems to be disrupting you. So you don't want to disrupt the things that support your foundation at this time because you're seeking balance and security. There's a lot of cards that come through around that. And you're certainly getting so much wisdom coming through. You want to be able to use that information in a way that advances you. You don't want to get caught up with low vibrational energy. So again, this is things that support your foundation at this time. Security, stability is really important for you in this 2-week period, and it seems to have strong value for you. So stability on the home front or in your close network, however that aligns for you. And again, with that 5 of Pentacles previously here, I just want to also add that it can indicate that there is some feeling that maybe something is missing for you, in the back of your mind here on some level. So it doesn't have to be that, there's a caution where your equipment is failing. It could be more along the lines of you're just feeling like something is missing here. But again, because there was the Tower moment and all of that other oppressive kind of energy, it just feels like there could be a feeling of brooding or isolation or abandonment, even, just feeling very alone. And certainly with the Page of Pentacles, and that followed up by the King of Pentacles, you just want to remain grounded. Structure out a plan to achieve here so that you stay committed when you're in doubt. But overall, with so much information coming in for you, I think that you will be writing it out. I think you will be trying to make some sense out of what you're gaining. You have it in you, so get it out there is really what's happening. Like anything that's coming in for you in this 2-week period is a combination of all of the inspiration, the insight, and your struggles. That dark path also serves to enrich your life by delving into some of the real human elements that, allow us to, I don't want to just say communicate, but allow us to connect, so that if you are writing a book, for example, when you're writing a character, it's those depths of struggle that connect us. And that's the human element those are the things that we need to not be afraid to explore. And that's what I feel you're possibly dealing with as well, is maybe with that new wisdom and that new insight that you're struggling with some of that darker energy of your own human, I don't want to say failings, because that's really not what I mean, it's not really about failings. It's about human, explorations and having to delve into the things that block us or try to shelter us from reality. So again, taking things on strategically, incrementally, in how we deal with our own feelings of limitation, are really important, because you won't look for distractions. You won't allow conflict if you're actually dealing with your shadow self or dealing with the sides of yourself that, when you see your own insecurity on some level, you won't choose to deflect it. You're going to explore it and see and find ways to allow it to just pass through you and, live in the moment and realize that we're all going to have moments of insecurity, maybe more so when you're tired or whatever it is, but you won't take so much of a self-defeatist attitude and let yourself be distracted from your course when you work through those darker places. Okay, so moving on. So many cards of protection and spirit coming through just gave me the feeling that you were dealing with some heavier energy or some kind of conflict, whether that was inner, outer, external, kinds of dealings. It's also dealing with again, with that Queen of Cups energy. So again, that may be just that you need to use your intuition to guide you through this period of growth. You want to stay practical. You want to commit, and especially in this 2-week period, you don't want to give up. You want to stay grounded with this energy and commit to the process. And further back there, you might be required to do some research as well with that Page of Pentacles. But certainly with the fives coming through, there is some conflict. There might even be a little bit of a sacrifice on your part. Yeah, might have to release something to be able to move ahead here. But it just feels as though you've got, you're going to be doing some inner work as well. Okay, so I should just mention too, for those that are dealing with, because the King of Pentacles, with that, going back to that King of Pentacles and, the Page of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, which I'm just going to bring forward here again. In dealing with those two energies there, I mean, this could also speak to an entrepreneurial person that could be quite well off that you need to be aware of. There might be some kind of a caution here around that new beginning, and that somebody is operating out of self-interest because, again, it was followed up with that Five of Swords energy. So this combination was actually together. So that could come as a warning for those more on the entrepreneurial front, or for those dealing with somebody who has an entrepreneurial, dominating, commanding kind of authoritative presence with the King of Pentacles. But it's usually somebody who does well for themselves and who's fairly, well to do. But anyway, this person might be operating out of self-interest. So whatever that warning is here in the next 2 weeks, just to be a little more leery. Maybe somebody's opportunistic. Not sure how that's coming through and resonating for you, but you might be better off being more self-contained or operating with more reserve about your ideas, and just to be more alert to situations that might not sound logical or might not be sound. So just again, try to remain level in your thoughts, practical in your actions and your ideas for the next 2 weeks, and possibly a little further out as energy again varies in the time frames that each Gemini cycles through. So just a little heads up. So we also have the 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel, and that comes through with a message of communicating and expressing yourself and speaking up for yourself in the beginning weeks. So this card feels more related for most of you around creative projects and how you intimately connect to spirit on so many of these fronts to really draw energy, just to communicate unimpeded and allow the messages to come through freely. That is further clarified with the Two of Cups. So generally the Two of Cups is a very positive card, but it is followed by the Death card, which is further clarified by the Two of Wands. And that speaks to me around a transformation of a business partnership or an alliance or a union that is somehow interconnected with your finances. So with both the Two of Cups and the Two of Wands, there is definitely a sense of balance and agreeableness coming through, or that you need to keep this in balance. So it could speak to a reconciliation or a sense of cooperation, but there's also a need to be patient and allow for some kind of transformation or regeneration around this partnership or alliance with that Death card. So again, could be that the relationship is transforming by releasing elements of stagnation or having to make a choice with the Two of Wands in how you project yourself going forward, independently or supported in some connection. So I think that's your decision. You're trying to make a decision as to whether or not to operate, individually or to go ahead with in some kind of alliance. So again, with the Knight of Pentacles, I do feel that this alliance helps you to stay grounded and rooted in reality in some way, or feels secure around some foundation. I feel for a lot of you, it makes you feel supported on some level, but there's something that needs to change. It feels pretty solid with the Knight of Pentacles following, and certainly looks to be a fair amount of concrete stability around it. Very reliable energy, but it may be slow to change things. And this could be around a Queen of Swords energy. This could represent a Libra because it's come through a couple of times here as well, with the Justice card coming out and the Empress card as well, in fact. But it looks like there's a lot of anxiety or miscommunication with this person, with the following card of the Nine of Swords. But ultimately, I feel you're using your inspiration to stay focused, or maybe distract yourself from things with that connecting card of the Queen of Wands. Again, using your creative aspirations to your advantage, so that you're not distracted into something that might otherwise cause you some instability and anxiety with the Nine of Swords. The Hierophant, to me, again, this is really strongly oriented. It could be a Taurus energy around you as well, but for most, it feels like you're just expressing yourself and doing some inner development here. I think you're bringing your deeper hidden thoughts, maybe even your shadow self to the forefront and expressing that in some way. So for me, most of you, I feel that first 2 weeks of March really represents an intuitive depth and spiritual knowledge that you're really tapping into. And it feels almost otherworldly because there's just so many different types of energy with the angels that are coming through. Certainly the inspiration to take on a project, whether it's, again, writing or expressing yourself in drawing or painting or, ceramics or knitting, or, for guys, maybe it's something that is more hands-on, mechanical or whatever, but, or women too, not to be, biased there, but it just feels like there's just some kind of deeper connection to whatever it is that you're doing. You're unique. It's something that feels unique to you with that Nine of Pentacles. Something that is, that I feel that you're just really unique in expressing. So I also feel, again, with the Hanged Man, you're taking that time to pause. So again, there's a lot of that energy of Temperance cards coming through here, and so many different, angels that are also connected to this reading, that I feel that, again, those downloads may feel like there's a bit of burnout. But burnout is maybe not quite the right word, but, maybe an overload of all this inspired expression, and then wisdom, and then having to process the lessons. But either way, it does bring you to the Angel of Balance. So you might have had to shift your perspective and able to get to this place, but the Angel of Balance is coming in when something is out of balance usually. So again, whatever that is for you, physical, mental, emotional, maybe you were feeling all of them, but it just feels like you were going through some kind of bit of instability here. But again, every time you take that period to pause, and allow Spirit to come through to aid you in the lessons that you needed to learn and deal with some of those shadow elements, I just feel that it allows you to get past whatever these restrictions are. And again, there is a card of restriction here as well, but the Angel of Balance, of course, followed up by the Ten of Cups, is just really speaking to you starting to feel more emotionally sound again. But again, we do have that Eight of Swords energy, which is a restriction of some kind around your happiness. Could be around a union or something around your home front with dealing with the foundation. But again, for some, it's issues around a union, business partnership, something that might be coming to light as well, with the Moon card. And in addition, we've got the Lovers card. So the Moon card and the Lovers card, and again, with that Eight of Swords prior to that, it just feels like there's some kind of restriction here. Of course, the Lovers card could also be you showing up in your own reading here, Gemini. So it also, to me, kind of gives me a sense that there's maybe a division of yourself that you're dealing with as well. And it is followed up by the Chariot, which I'll show you here in a moment. And that could be a Cancer energy that's also somehow influencing the reading. But again, it just feels like there's some kind of wisdom that's coming through to harmonize these opposite sides of yourself, or in some sense of union, but it is bringing about a rebalancing here. So again, we also have the card of Chariot, and as well, we've also got the Two of Pentacles. So you're adapting to the situation. The Chariot can speak to a victory and so on as well, but I just feel with, again, this combination, that there is some kind of a balance, and certainly there might be a decision that's being made. There's a lot of twos coming through, and for sure with the Chariot card, you know, that can be sort of, to me, it spoke to dealing with two aspects of yourself is what I was feeling there. But again, Two of Pentacles, I feel that you're adapting to some kind of a situation. But again, for others, just to throw it out there, you know, it was feeling like some kind of indecision or choice in a partnership, or just making the decision to become more of who you are. So leading to that overall sense of happiness with the Page of Cups that follows up here. The card of appreciation, I feel that maybe you fell into a little bit of a negative mindset at some point here in that first 2 weeks, you know, where you were just not dealing as maybe a little bit of a, I'll say maybe a mild depression of some sort, where you're just feeling a little bit low. It is followed up by the King of Swords and also the Devil energy, and that was the card of appreciation. So those were the clarifiers. So to me, it just feels as though there is some kind of negative heaviness, again, you know, around, could be around that union or partnership, or, you know, just dealing with sort of the darker elements of yourself, and you just need to get clear on what it is that you're mulling over or trying to find some clarity in. But anyway, all I'm going to say about that there is just that I just feel that you are going to be getting some inspiration that's swiftly moving you closer to manifesting something towards you, because followed after that, we do have other cards of the Eight of Wands, and we've got the Page of Cups, and we also have the Magician. So in this combination here, it just, again, this feels like, just feels as though, you know, you've got some kind of incoming, you know, important communication that's going to help you decide on, you know, I feel that the communication that's coming through is your inspiration. I feel that this is where you're getting closer and closer to manifesting something that's more abundant for you. And I feel that that is where we end up with the Garden and the Gate. So the Garden and the Gate, again, is, you know, where you are ending something of an overwhelm and a heavy negative communications with the Ten of Swords and the Ten of Wands, or feeling that burden. And certainly it feels like on more than one front, you're letting go, you're releasing, starting to release some of that energy of, you know, the harshness of an argument, or the overwhelm of emotions, because again, there was strong emotional connections there. So it feels like some kind of big, heated, dramatic situation that happened there. In that first 2 weeks. But with the Garden and the Gate card coming through, and certainly followed up by, you know, the Ten of Wands, which I spoke of, and followed up with the Temperance card, and it's actually followed up twice with the Temperance card, and again, we've got all those other angel cards. So again, I feel there's a degree of healing that's coming through with this, and certainly because it's so close to the Ten of Wands and the burden and the overwhelm, and, you know, the difficulty of in the way that, you know, communications occurred. And again, maybe it's because you were trying to process some of this information, and you haven't really fully amalgamated that into your psyche to be able to take on any more issue. And maybe that's why you've erupted possibly in that first 2 weeks, just because you're just feeling a little bit too much over emotion. Even though you're getting insight and download and wisdom, you have to be able to implement it to parts of your life or allocate it. And I feel that you're still going to have to do that probably throughout most of March and then further out, because it takes time to process things that we learn. So again, with the Star card and that following up card of the Nine of Cups, I feel that you're finding something that gives you back that good feeling. I feel that you have more hope in something. So maybe toward that, again, that latter portion of the second week, you're just starting to get a trickle of, hope coming through again. So we also, and I should mention, there's a fair amount of pentacles that do come through, but for most of the month, and it feels like you're in the Two of Pentacles mode, as I say, juggling finances, but planting seeds in your projects and adapting as you go. But you may be neglecting to appreciate what you have, again, with that card of appreciation earlier. And that was followed by the King of Swords, the harsh words. And again, some of you could be dealing with a government or legal entity, but I'm not strongly getting much around that. So for many, that devil energy felt like some toxic behavior, negative mindset that's disrupting your happiness with that Ten of Cups in the previous cards, and certainly then followed up by the Eight of Swords. I feel it's self-imposed. You're creating your own drama to a degree. But again, reminder to stay grounded. That will help you to get past this, and remind yourself that peace of mind is the goal here in the 2 weeks, because you're getting so much angel protection, so much of a healing energy that, you have to find ways to take things less personally and just let, the moment pass and let it work to your advantage. Free up, that energy loss or that exhaustion, because you're taking in so much now mentally that, you need the time to really devote that to yourself. So again, we've got with that Eight of Wands, it brought in that quick communication coming in, that you had good news, I feel, for some of you. And again, could be dealing with Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, water signs that could be prominent here. That Magician energy just feels like you're getting some profound insights and wisdom. And so many angel cards, as I said, just feels like some very deep revelations, insights, ideas this month. But again, to finish up here, with all the pentacles, your finances still require a lot of hard work and patience before you really reap the reward of the Star. But your project has some real merit. So the Temperance card, which has come out several times, and the Star combination speaks again to some kind of breakthrough that you were challenged by with the Ten of Wands. Because it's bringing you, again, it brought you to that Nine of Cups, which is that feeling of being satisfied with what you've achieved in the last 2 weeks. So you've really found some pleasure in the process, and you're realizing that you can really make things happen at this point when you stay in the energy of stability and security and peace, and allow yourself to process new wisdom. So again, your stability was at the forefront. Getting a lot of insight, wisdom, creative energy this month, and that's just to help keep you grounded. That healing energy is helping to keep you grounded as well. So we also have the Archangel Michael that's coming through here, but it is followed up with the Hermit. And again, with the Archangel Michael, that again was along that same energy of stability and security, and you're being protected on that front. But the Hermit and the Sun means remain practical. You're headed in the right direction here to bring about these great things, and you just want to keep that momentum going. So this combination is, to me, a tremendous level of guidance that enlightens you to and invites you to overcome any barriers that you're facing. This is an opportunity to really face down some of your darker patterns and heavier blockages, things that, can be released at this time. So again, I felt that there was release, of the mind, and certainly of some of your energy is going to be freeing up here, probably more seen or felt more so in the latter part of March. But just to keep going, because you're really being given those profound insights and wisdom. And that knowledge is going to be something that you now possess in a practical sense, and that will help you to further your journey. So to break things down more specifically in terms of finances, the Rider-Waite deck clarifies. So we've got the financial elements week to week. So Rider-Waite is first talking about you're recovering from some form of loss. You're leaving something behind, but it looks as though it's a slow recovery, though, because we are looking at the Knight of Pentacles. So to me, slow recovery, and it does look as though you felt like there was some kind of a loss here with the Five of Cups, and certainly some kind of drama around that, I feel. But as I said, I mean, there is some kind of expansion, and again, it's a bit of a waiting period here with the Three of Wands. But we also have the Hermit card again. And so, it's along the same energy as the Hanged Man and the Seven of Pentacles. It's sort of a pause. Again, you're waiting for some clarity to come through, just to be able to figure out how you're going to be moving forward. And again, further clarified with the Page of Cups. So again, it just feels like you're moving toward a happier outcome, likely by the end of the week with a period of isolation with that Hermit card, but I just feel like you're keeping to yourself. So again, feels like it's a slower movement with the Three of Wands, and that you're waiting on something, as was mentioned a few cards back here, but the Page of Cups is bringing in some good news or some kind of important information. And again, that's even further clarified with the Judgment card. So again, there's a new beginning here. There's some kind of renewal, either with a person, could be representing a Libra, with the Empress coming through so many times here, Empress and the Justice card and Queen of Swords. But it just feels like for others, you're starting to birth a new creative idea, or getting the clarity on how to add to an existing idea, but there's something very unique about it, and that'll probably show up in about the middle to the end of the week. So this again could be an idea that changes your direction in some way, and that might be why the Hanged Man, but it feels like it really enhances things to such a degree that it feels new. So because it's more of a stepping stone to the next level of development is what I want to say here. But you are being encouraged to follow this path, and you are, again, protected with the Temperance card. But again, it's a card of patience, so you're still having to wait for its, fruition, its full development. But you're still going along the path to, to allow it to expand. So following that, we do have some challenges here. This could be inner battles, could be challenging people around you as well, some kind of little battle that plays out, but I feel that you're still inviting that creative, nurturing space that aligns you with the Empress, and I feel that really overpowers this little challenging moment here. Because I feel that you're moving towards success, and you're awakening some very deep connections to your projects. You're very passionate about your ideas here, and there is, I feel, a positive cash flow that will be attached to them. But again, you're recovering with that Judgment card as well. It's still it can be a card of healing on some front as well, but I just feel overall you're getting a clear picture of where you need to cultivate your greater awareness, and it looks to be around a project that you're really invested in creatively. As I said, with the Empress card, it's some kind of a new start, and again with the Judgment card, new start, it's something related around your calling. Just really feels like it's based around your true identity here. So again, strong spiritual energy around you. Likely with that Temperance card coming through, it could very well be someone that you know, because it's so heavily laden with that kind of energy in that first 2 weeks. But when it's clarified with the Five of Wands, it can, as I say, represent some kind of struggles around money, or a person who presents as the Queen of Pentacles for some of you. The Queen of Pentacles, can be someone who is a multitasker, healer, family-oriented person, usually somebody who's very resourceful and nurturing, but assumes a lot of responsibility in the household, very supportive kind of person. Following that, we've got the Two of Swords. A lot of twos coming through. So definitely trying to, as soon as you get out of balance, you're trying to rebalance. As soon as you get out of balance again, you're trying to rebalance. So I feel for some of you, again, there's some kind of a decision in this first couple of weeks that you get some clarity with the Ace of Swords on how to proceed, and that kind of creates a sense of a new beginning of sorts, because you're finally getting some information, you're getting some answers, you're getting the insight, the wisdom, the knowledge to be able to apply it. And that's coming through by the help of Spirit. And that's again, this can be you feeling more empowered with the Gemini energy coming through with the Lovers, or again, it can be for others that real potential to expand and grow in a partnership or a union or something connected around your finances. But there is either way some kind of renewed sense of wholeness and moving away from stagnant energy where you just felt inaction. But it looks like, again, you're empowered, coming through as Gemini with the Lovers and really feeling confident about some kind of idea. And certainly with, as I mentioned before, with the Chariot, it just felt like there was a division of self, but you're feeling much more whole now. And it just feels like there could be even more of not just a mental shift, but some kind of major life change here, not just an aha moment, but a moment where you're really starting to shift, how you see yourself. There's a real clarity, and certainly I feel it's being developed through your creative inspirations. That's how you're coming about to these realizations. But the Temperance card is really surrounding a lot of that energy around that union too. So again, very protected energy. Could be, again, for some of you around a relationship, partnership, business front, but for others, it's around you specifically. So it just feels like you're really being brought swift ideas, information, and something that you're manifesting into being here. It's just a real take charge card of destiny, where you're really weaving your talents in such a way that you're linking creation to the practical world of action. And this is a card of, knowledge and being focused and inspired to bring things into form. So that's followed up very appropriately with the Fool card, and that's where the doors open to a new phase this month. So you're really strong, freeing energy here in the first 2 weeks in terms of your creativity. You're cutting away things that are not moving you ahead with the Page of Swords following that. You're really staying grounded here with this energy, or at least you found some sense of grounding, but you're curious and you're in the moment and you're ready for whatever lays ahead in terms of those new experiences, and things will start to open up around you once you detach from this old stale energy of yourself. So again, we've got the Queen of Pentacles coming through, and it's just feeling, to me, that's you being resourceful. And we've also got the King of Wands. You're being resourceful. I feel like you're really starting to take on more of an entrepreneurial leadership role, and definite transformations with all that angel energy. And your energy just feels lighter with the Fool card coming through. And again, it feels around career advancement. There might be a hidden talent that you didn't know that you had that's surfacing here as well. But it just feels like you're ready to nurture it into this new career and embrace some kind of change on that front. Again, there's some energy here that comes through that sort of a cluster of cards with the Devil, the Queen of Wands, the Emperor, and the Moon card. So in that second week, as I said, it feels like there is an energy surge where you're just starting to step up into this new territory with the Fool card, and you may be nurturing your projects, career, entrepreneurial beginnings with both the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Wands that were clarifying previously here. But again, there's still a lot of unknowns with the Moon card, things that you have yet to figure out before you can take on this Emperor energy. The Emperor coming out here is also you using your will to maximize on that creative surge, and really feeling much more optimistic. And again, it's insights, elevating you to new levels, things that I don't feel that you were in touch with before. because it's really new depths. So you're allowing yourself to really indulge in this opportunistic energy. This is a powerful period with that devil energy. So for others, this could represent an overly authoritative person who may have a hidden agenda, and possibly an ambitious person with self-centered or dominating narcissistic tendencies. But it could also speak to an obsession around a creative idea for others, going too far in a particular direction, that you have to face some of those shadow parts of yourself this week, as I mentioned earlier, if you're represented as the Emperor, but using your creativity to pull you out of this. So for others, you're trapped in a job you dislike, but you're dealing with it in the second week. You may have creative projects on the side that you're trying to focus on, but you're dealing with a more heavier job energy that's making you feel a sense of lack in that second week as well. Again, Five of Pentacles energy that came through, Page of Swords. You might be standing up to defend yourself, because it's your foundation, with that Ten of Cups as well. But because there's the Five of Pentacles that was coming through. There's you getting some clarity, also standing up for yourself. And it is around your home front, your foundation, your happiness. And again, with the Strength card coming in here, this just really speaks to me that you're having to persevere, and try to continue building your life for the better, but you might have to rein in your emotions. Because again, there was a lot of tens there, the Ten of Swords, the Ten of Wands. So it just really feels like, and these are repeats as well, so it really feels like you're dealing with some energy that, has been volatile, a little dramatic. But again, after that period of drama and restriction, and whatever those harsh words or hardship was, that looks like it was unavoidable here. Although, again, trying to stay grounded and balanced and peace is where you want to be, so that you can gain the insight, not block off spirit coming through, so that you really gain enough wisdom that you can advance yourself. So try to rein in your emotions here. But you are getting a chance to pause periodically with the Hermit card, the Hanged Man, and again, the Seven of Pentacles coming out a couple of times here too. So, maybe you're taking a day off, after this heated moment or something that occurred at work, but with that Six of Pentacles, there might be some, sense of reciprocity, or at least there's some kind of an understanding that's reached nonetheless, or there's help coming through to assist you with this instability. So last part of the week, you're feeling inspired again after that incident. Once again, balance has been restored with the Justice card and which is coming up here. Balances, you're being, inspired again with the Ace of Wands. You've got the Justice card, could be again contractual or Libra energy, but some sense of equilibrium around a partnership or a union, alliance, business partnership, whatever it is around your money area, sectors. But again, that's further clarified with the Two of Cups. So you coming through again, feeling much more confident, could be again around an alliance, but you feel like there was some kind of a emotional low that you've hit, with the Five of Cups, coming through there as well. Could have been, and the Four of Cups as well. And we also have the King of Cups. So again, remain calm, keep your emotions under wraps. Your position may have moved you to another department if you're still employed, and, maybe you've been given new duties, or there's some kind of, new learning that's also coming through here. But again, there's the sacrifice, something that you had to give up in your position here. Maybe there was an apology that had to be rendered, or whatever that is. But with the Page of Pentacles, I just feel like that combination of cards, followed up with the Eight of Swords and the Page of Pentacles, I feel you're getting some kind of a deep lesson that is changing your outlook or transforming you in some way with the World card. So you've ended a cycle, you've learned some kind of deep lesson, you have, ended up on the brighter side of things here with the Sun card. So you've been able to accommodate to whatever it is that challenged you. You've been able to adapt because you did end up with teamwork, and certainly some of you might be bringing in some experts to assist you in terms of, if it's an entrepreneurial venture. So if there was conflict with, experts or other people, that that were intended to assist you, I just feel there, again, there's a renewed sense of pride, purpose, direction, all of that. So the last card's out. I won't go into too much more detail, just simply because there's a lot of repeats here. And certainly these cards are kind of speaking, as I said, to so much of the same. And I'm running out of time here just because I didn't want it to drag on too far. But I mean, we do have the card of travel. So again, for some of you, there might be some travel plans, work-related involved here. We also have intuition and manifestation. So for sure, you know that you're getting a lot of insights coming through from spirit. Kindred partnership. So again, there could be some kind of an alliance or bond that's really important, relevant for this 2-week period, some kind of a connection that seems to be a primary focus. And again, angels of the 4 directions, a lot of different energy that's coming through there that is designed to protect you, heal you, advance you, inspire you. So for sure, you really need to heed that insight and get rid of the blockages so that you can really gain as much of that dynamic presence that comes through from all of those angels, and again, that's certainly dealing with new ideas, old issues, and creative projects. So it's a really important card, really important time in that first 2 weeks, because it does lead you to new beginnings on a lot of different levels here, a lot of different fronts. So again, you don't want to waste opportunities as those energy doors open up to you. You want to be able to start something big and, add to your experience and add to your endeavor, whatever it is that you're trying to, bring into existence, right? So you are honoring the path. You are putting in the work. This is really a time for you to, appreciate all that's kind of coming through here. And again, there was that card of appreciation that also spoke to that same energy. So I just feel like you really need to make some time for yourself to process, respect the process, I guess is what I want to say. So just be the best version of yourself here. And we also have discovery. So again, this is where you're really discovering your true self and how you want to present. And with spirit, you also have the vast universe. So you're definitely being guided and definitely enlightened. So again, take notes. This is really a time where you need to build on the new you. This is about blessings coming in and happiness, and it is connected to other people or other alliances and so on with the vast universe. So last but not least, that's what I have for you, Gemini. It looks like a couple of rough patches in both the first and the second week, but your ambition to succeed and your levels of inspiration and strong connection with spirit to both protect you and enlighten you, to keep those wheels of opportunity moving in your favor, is bringing about some lessons which I feel are integral to your advancement in the future. So be sure not to repeat patterns here. Really take what you've learned this month as instruments to shape you, shape who you will become, as you evolve your manifestations. So, your progress is very strongly correlated to those insights coming through, especially in that first 2 weeks, which will probably play out throughout the rest of the month. But either way, make a conscious effort to be aware of, what kinds of thinking was limiting you and what kind of thinking expands you. Where do you thrive? What kind of environment? What behaviors bring about your best results? Think about what patterns, keep you moving forward, and just be aware of what allowed you to progress, and, what kind of practical work created the largest steps forward, and then bring that forward consistently. So again, your revelations, insights, wisdom, creative energy is something you will need to further expand going forward. So respect the value of what you've learned this month. But otherwise, a fairly stable month financially. You might be juggling some things here overall, but mostly it's emotional upheaval, deeper awareness, and really getting in touch with the parts of yourself that you need to work on. So keep moving forward, stay safe, and we'll see you for the last 2 weeks of March in the next video.